Birds are a group of warm-blooded vertebrates constituting the class Aves, characterized by feathers, toothless beaked jaws, the laying of hard-shelled eggs, a high metabolic rate, a four-chambered heart, and a strong yet lightweight skeleton. The first classification of birds was developed by Francis Willughby and John Rayan. Their 1676 volume Ornithologia. Carl Linnaeus modified that work in 1758 to devise the taxonomic classification system currently in use. Birds are categorized as the biological class Aves in Linnean taxonomy. The bird, class Aves, is one of the more than 10,400 species of feathered species, the main characteristic that distinguishes them from all other animals. A more detailed definition is that they are warmer-blooded vertebrates that are more related to reptiles than mammals, that they have a four-chambered heart, like mammals, that the forelegs have been modified into wings, a behavior shared with bats, and that the main meaning they rely on for information is the shell. Their smell is not very developed, and their hearing range is limited. Most birds are routine. All birds have wings, although not all birds fly. The wings have been shown solely to give a sense of proportion. Bats are flying mammals, and most insects have wings. The carcasses of birds are beautifully designed, have strong chest muscles, and are strong enough to lift their wings. Differences in the shape of the wings give different birds different qualities. The narrow and sharp wings of the falcon give speed, the albatross rises much longer than the wing. Most songbirds have elliptical, equally shaped wings that allow them to move quickly and briefly through the tight spaces of their tree houses. Swimming birds, such as penguins and puffins, have flipper-shaped wings. All birds have beaks or bills, made of bone core surrounded by a thin layer of keratin. Birds do not have real teeth, but many species have tomia, sharp ridges on the edges of their beaks. Birds chew and grind the food into pieces large enough to be swallowed. The shape of the bird's beak indicates the general diet of the bird. Flesh eaters have hawks and beaks with sharp, hooked beaks. Strong, cone-shaped beaks help the seed eaters pass through the shells. Ducks and geese also have white and flat beaks. All birds lay eggs, some very colorful or covered with spots. Eggs are not limited to birds as they lay their eggs on fish, reptiles, amphibians and insects. A bird egg has a thick shell made of calcium and a thick layer of mucus. Inside the egg, the developing fetus receives nutrients from the yolk, albumin, and egg white. Most birds build nests to protect their eggs and then maintain the eggs and hatchlings. Most birds are dedicated parents, in most cases, both men and women care for young people. Feathers are a feature of the Aves found in all species of birds. In other animals, feathers are made of keratin, a highly modified form of hair and claw. Feathers are crucial not only for flight, but also for warmth and protection from the elements. In many species, males attract mates. The soft and fluffy feathers help keep the birds warm, the contour feathers help the body and flight of the birds, and the flying feathers on the wings and tail provide the bird's nest. Once or twice a year the birds shed their old feathers. All birds reproduce by laying eggs. The eggs are produced inside the female and deposited in a cage. Laying eggs in captive females is actually the same as mammalian ovulation. Bird migration is a seasonal movement, often through a flyway north and south, between breeding and wintering areas. Many species of birds migrate. Migration carries high costs in hunting and mortality, including human poaching, which is mainly driven by food availability. It occurs mainly in the northern hemisphere. Ancient Greek writers, such as Homer and Aristotle, recorded the migration of creatures such as horns, tortoises, and swallows over 3,000 years ago in the Book of Job. More recently, Johannes Lech began to record the dates of spring migrants in Finland in 1749, and modern scientific studies have used techniques including bird ringing and satellite tracking to locate migrants. Threats to migratory birds grew with the destruction of habitats, especially stopover and winter sites, as well as power line. Birds are important members of many habitats. They play an important role in controlling pests, pollinators, and maintaining island ecology. In addition, birds are important to humans in many ways, such as serving as a source of food. Birds are important members of many ecosystems. They are an integral part of food chains and food nets. For example, in a forest habitat, some birds feed mainly on plants. Others eat mainly small animals, such as insects or worms. Birds and bird eggs serve as food for foxes, raccoons and snakes. The feeding relationship to all the animals in an ecosystem helps to prevent the overgrowth of any one species. Birds play an important role in maintaining this balance of nature. In addition to being an important part of the food web, you may be familiar with birds as food. People always hunt birds for food. People have finally found that some wild birds, ducks, chickens, turkeys, can be tamed. This discovery led to the breeding of poultry, which is a pet raised by farmers. Birds eat insects. They are a natural way to control pests in gardens, farms and other places. A flock of birds flying through the air can easily eat hundreds of insects every day. Insect-eating birds include warblers, bluebirds, and woodpeckers. Birds that feed on nectar are the main pollinators, i.e. they move from flower to flower to help fertilize the sex cells and create new plants. Hummingbird, sunbird and honey eater are pollinators. Many fruit-eating birds help to disperse the seeds. After eating the fruit, they carry the seeds to the intestines and deposit them in new places. Please subscribe our channel and click the bell icon.